Silver and gold are not and should never be seen as an asset of value in this current financial circus, but rather a hedge bet to protect you when it fails. The cheaper it holds in this circus, the more you can accumulate without fear of missing out, FOMO. Thus making it easier financially to accumulate for your children or grandchildren. The solution should be in 3 words: free market capitalism.
Here's where it starts.
The problem is this coming crisis is going to be so bad. It's going to be so much worse than 2008. And you know it's all going to be blamed on capitalism. It's all going to be the left saying, "We told you so." We cut taxes for the rich, we deregulated. Trump inherited a great economy from Obama, and everything he inherited, he squandered it with tax cuts for the rich. And things are going to be very tough. People will demand radical solutions. I wish the revolutionary solution could be free market capitalism, because we haven't had that in a long time. But everybody's convinced that that's all we've had. Even the people who supposedly defend capitalism think that it needs a makeover. That it needs to be redone for the modern era. Get government out and market forces back in. We don't need to redo capitalism. We just need capitalism. What we have to do is get all the socialism out of capitalism. It's giving it a bad name. We need to get government out of all this stuff so that market forces can get back in. What the policy of the Fed does is, it transfers wealth from wage earners to speculators. Because the wage earners are seeing the value of their incomes, their wages being diminished because of the monetary policy of the Fed. The inflation is destroying the cost of their labor income. But it is helping to increase the value of the revenue that speculators get through financial leverage and other types of paper pushing and engineering. So they're making the rich richer. Who can afford to speculate? The middle class can't. They are just trying to collect a paycheck and clocking in at a job. The market is pushed up on liabilities the middle class will bear. When market collapses, they will bear the brunt. The value of their hard work is going down. Because the cost of living is going up. But as much as the Fed wants to pretend that the cost of living is not going up, it is. And it's going up faster than most people's wages. So that is helping to drive income inequality. And of course the cheap money that the Fed puts out there also makes it easier for consumers to make a wrong choice, to borrow, to buy consumer goods. Private banks loan, fractional reserve lending, create out of thin air, money, debt, to people, to business, to nations, to both sides of all wars, with interest, usury. Now, after many generations of this, of banksters buying up the entire world's resources and funding all conflicts, they own the world as a whole, monopoly. The banksters fund all sides of every conflict, insert themselves into every matter. Behind every conflict, there are banksters issuing credit and controlling the situation, regardless of who wins. It's the recent super injection of QE that will send us to the higher high moon mission for at least a year. It worked for Magic Man Ben Bernanke. Sing together with me, let the good times roll. These markets are an abomination. Trump is going to own the drawdown crash when it happens. $1.3 trillion in new debt this year already. The guy spends like a hooker with a crack addiction. The Fed repoed another $108 billion this week. Pathetic. The banks aren't building reserves. They're running over to the casino. The US in only a few months had 3 rate cuts, initiated QE4 with $60 billion minimum purchase of treasuries, have $150 billion repo injections daily, increased the Federal Reserve balance sheet to more than $4.2 trillion, and the list goes on and on. These are tools that central banks have to combat recessions and depressions, and they should be used only in extreme emergency situations. Such as the worst financial crisis in modern history in 2008. But that is not the case here. Jay Powell and Mnuchin Trump are obsessed with the stock markets because they want it to look good for Trump US presidential re-election. It's disgusting. There are trillions in junk waiting to implode. Once it starts, the Fed will be helpless to stop it. I predict it will be quick and violent. Printing more and forcing rates lower won't work. Feels like 2008 all over again. Only this time, much, much worse. This was the Atlantis Report. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.